sharing another experience in this video. तो ये जो एक्सपीरियंस है इट इज़ ऑफ अ YMD is young men's division. Men who are not married yet comes under young men division. His name is Advik Bhattacharya and he is from Bengaluru. So title है Awakening to My Mission, Forging a New Self. थोड़ा सा इनके बारे में, मतलब है तो पूरा एक्सपीरियंस इन्हीं के ही बारे में, बट उससे पहले थोड़े से इनिशियल स्टार्टिंग वाला पार्ट इनके बारे में. आई वॉज इंट्रोड्यूस टू निचिन बुद्धिज्म इन 2009 बाय अ फ्रेंड हु इज नाउ माई वाइफ. At that time, I was at the lowest point of my life. I had failed in more than half of my papers and dropped out of college. Inspired by Ikeda Sensei's guidance to future division to excel in studies as an expression of gratitude toward our parents and teachers, I decided to restart my education, rousing the spirit of a bodhisattva. In June 2012, I graduated from my university as the topper and enrolled for post graduation. Seeing my tremendous growth, my parents developed a deep respect for Ikeda sensei and the Soka Gakkai. However, during my second year, my father was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Amid daily hospital visits, studies, home responsibilities, and a strained long distance relationship, I felt despair. But my fears vanished instantly when I read Ikeda Sensei's guidance. I quote, "When we awaken to our mission from the remote past, we will gain a new sense of self." I unquote. I vowed to Sensei to live as a bodhisattva of the earth with the shared commitment of mentor and disciple, my suffering transformed to joy. I also received the Omamori Gohonzon as an encouragement from Ikeda Sensei. My father, who rejected religion, began chanting and engaging in Gakkai activities. My mother, too, began chanting and doing Gongyo regularly. I could Shakubuku, my cousin, who is now fighting actively on the front lines of Kosan Rofu. During my father's long hospital stay, I was by his side, chanting Daimoku, encouraging other caregivers, and studying for my exams. At home, I supported my mother and tirelessly encouraged fellow YMDs. My father's response to the treatment exceeded expectations. Ending his life by 2 years beyond what doctors has predicted, my father passed away peacefully in December 2015. His unwavering faith and resilience continues to inspire his district. Losing him was a profound moment in my life. I strengthened my determination to fight for Kosan Rufu, striving vigorously for Kosan Rufu. Overcoming family resistance, I got married in March 2017. In the years that followed, we transformed our relationship to a harmonious one. I lost my mother to an illness in May 2019, and my mother in law succumbed to cancer in February 2020. Remembering that a sincere attitude in faith is the highest expression of filial devotion, I intensified my vow each time. I feel grateful that my father in law is in great health and spirit and continues to fight on front lines of Kosan Rufo. Securing a well paying job was a struggle. However, I poured my heart and soul in every job I held. In my career, my pay was slashed twice and I faced hostile management, often finding myself stuck in roles with no growth. But I never wavered in faith and my dedication to Kosan Rufo. In these years, my salary increased sevenfold, and I became one of the most trusted employees in every company and team I have worked for. In 2021, I achieved the career milestone of being hired a global healthcare pioneer. Recently, I accomplished my decade old prayer of contributing an amount that once seemed impossible. In recent years, I faced various health issues but received protection through early diagnosis and quick recovery. In 2020, we were blessed with a son who we have named Nanjo. He regularly attends meeting with my wife who continues to fight valiantly for Kosan Rufo. Last year, I found myself slipping into a comfort zone, but with Sensei's passing, I was jolted awake from inertia. I decided that now, more than ever, is the time to stand and fight for Kosan Rufu. Kosan Rufu is basically world peace. Renewing my solemn vow to Ikeda Sensei, I accepted greater responsibilities in BSG. BSG is Bharat Soka Gakkai. Towards the SGI Youth Division Training course in June 2024, which I participated in, I chanted Abundant Daimoku daily, studied the NHR and the Gosho every day, and traveled across South India to meet 70 YMD and young lion boys. I had a heartfelt dialogue with my brother in law and chanted Daimoku with him. The training course enabled me to grasp the profundity of my mission as Ikeda Sensei's disciple. I feel deeply fortunate to have encouraged Nichiren Buddhism. Ikeda Sensei and the Soka Gakkai. I determined to practice with the Soka Gakkai for the rest of my life and continue to undergo my human revolution, manifesting it in my behavior as a human being. As that one disciple, I will protect the Soka Gakkai by striving for Kosen Rufu without begrudging my life. I am determined to help 3 times its present membership by 2030. खत्म हो गया. But every time there is something or the other you can learn from experience of members, and sometime a person may have an experience in few days or maybe a few months, but for people sometimes it take years. This person has lost his father, his mother-in-law, but still standing high with the spirit that they have some responsibility to contribute towards Kosan Rufu, which is basically world peace. And if you have faith, then only you can think of such thing that the world has to be a good place and they have to contribute by bringing change in themselves, and that is how they'll contribute to the world peace. For anyone who has lost their parent, be it one or both the parents, sometimes they have that phase in their life where they start feeling like, why us, now there is no god which exists, things like that. But when you are in practice, it helps you to grow, to understand that there are certain things which are not in your hand, and what you can do is to do best in your life, because your parent would want that only. So apart from losing parents, be it his own parent or the mother-in-law, the guy did well in studies. Initially he stopped studying but then restarted education, which is another a big incident in someone's life, because when you stop involving yourself into some educational course या कोई भी degree, then you start getting a little lazy, and then you feel like, oh, what is the need of education? But then again having that restart into his life, because education is really important in today's world. Everyone demands degree. So that is another important point. And not only doing good into his education, but also in the career which he has started after his education, getting into jobs. And there are few points which he has mentioned in his career part, where people do face toxic environment, toxic management in their jobs, and sometimes they work hard but they do not get promotion, so they settle up with a job which is paying them very less compared to their skill. But you have to keep fighting for yourself, not in terms of like actually involving in fights, punching your boss or someone, but actually working on yourself, your skills, improving them, focusing on your work, how you can make it better. So these are the things that you can sail through such toxic environments, and you just pray for their happiness. It is the most difficult part, to pray for someone who is troubling you, but it really helps. Sometimes this happen when there is a fight with someone and the person has really hurt you. So then you start feeling like you speak ill of that person and you start hating that person in your head, and then someday you decide, okay, now let's just forgive the other person. It's not just you forgiving the other person, it's also you leaving that baggage behind which you have been carrying for years into your head. So that is one. Very inspiring experience. That's all for this video.